call the Administration Committee to order. I see that all 5 members are here. We're going to start with item number 37, a resolution to approve the contract with Aptigee for providing mobile app and web design services for a total sum of $38,933. I see we have a staff member here to fill everybody in on this.
Thank you, Alderman Weigel. I'm excited to share this proposal with Penny. Aptigee is a website solution that we looked at to replace our current solution, which is now, the current website is now going on 6 years old. The platform that we are using for the city's website currently, we started using in 2011, and it has not changed much since on the backside. So we're really looking for something that, first of all, supports accessibility. That is one of the key things that we have to have in our website for liability purposes, and we currently don't have on the site that we have in place right now. Aptigee has many features in place to ensure that before content is published, it goes through a screening process, so it will be accessible and meet all the check boxes we need to hit for ADA compliance, so that's a really nice feature of it. They also provide support and training as part of our contract at no additional cost, so that will be a really great resource for us to continue to rely on as we create the new site. And what's also really nice about this proposal is that we will receive mobile app development as part of the contract. The majority of our website visitors currently are coming on mobile, so to be able to provide a really robust, fluid mobile experience, in addition to a mobile responsive website that folks can view in a browser as well if they choose to, will be a really nice part of this contract. And best of all, on the backside, it's just easy to use, so our staff who are managing the content are going to have a much better time managing the content, making sure it's ADA compliant, and also just making sure that people can find what they need to on the site. We will have much more ownership on the backside of the site content and the site organization, much more than we do now. And as part of this proposal as well, annually we can completely rebrand the site if we choose to, updating colors, what have you, and that's something we cannot do on our current site. So we have a lot more ownership of how the site looks and functions. And so we did bring this to the Tourism Commission as well. Room tax dollars would fund this proposal on the new city website, as well as sub-sites to support tourism, and some of our individual departments have sub-sites as well. All of those are bundled into this cost. There are no extra fees for those sub-sites, which we currently have on the platform that we're using. So there's a lot bundled into this, and the Tourism Commission did approve those funds, so I'm hoping that this committee will do so as well.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there
I
any,
just had a quick question.
any further discussion?
Yeah. So it looks like on their website, they primarily work with schools.
That's right, that's been the core of their customer base, but they do have municipal clients as well.
Okay.
There's a tab on the website that says municipalities, so you can click on that one. So they do have several municipal clients. And if you'd like me to send you some sample sites, I can do that as well. But they've been established for 9 years now in the CMS provider business, so they are quite established and were referred to us by the League of Wisconsin.
Okay, thank you.
And yeah, just another quick question. With the mobile app, is that for employee accessibility or citizen accessibility, both?
Citizen. Yep, these are citizen-facing services. So the mobile app, all of the content is created on the backside in one place and then pushed to the mobile app and the website with one click of a button by staff. So we're not managing 2 different platforms, but the public are getting a consistent, easy-to-use experience in either place.
Any further questions? This is a resolution, so just straight up, yes or no? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Resolution passes. Item number 38, resolution creating TID District Number 20, approving its project plan and establishing the boundaries in the city of West Allis.
Motion to approve. Second.
Do we have any questions? Everybody knows which, this is 65th and 6400 block of Greenfield Avenue. Everyone's familiar with the plan. So we've all seen that, okay? Any questions at all? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 38 passes or is adopted. Item number 39, resolution to authorize the fire department to apply for funding under the Bureau of Justice Comprehensive Opioid Stimulant Substance Use Program, COSIP. Always got to have those acronyms, right? COSIP grant. COSIP grant. Do we have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And a second? I think we had somebody here from the fire department to fill us in on this. Sure, just a 10,000 feet.
Got it. All right. Can you hear me now? All right. Yeah, so the COSUP grant funding from BJA is something that we're familiar with in the city. We're currently funded under BJA for substance use programming specifically to opiates. That program's been wildly successful. We've reduced opiate incidents by about 30%, opiate fatalities in the last year about 50%. What we're looking at though now are the holdouts that we haven't been able to get to. Most of those individuals are using stimulants and not opiates. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done to better manage that population and give them the resources they need to find recovery. That's what this funding would go to. So there's a few aims to it. The first aim is to figure out what the solution would be. So it's 1 year of clinicians over at Medical College of Wisconsin figuring out what the solution is. Once that's understood in years 2 and 3, that would go to, those recommendations come to our team. We would go out into the field, meet with those individuals, give them those resources, training, education, and support so they can find recovery as well. The overall amount is $1.3 million over 3 years. The city of West Allis would benefit from approximately $750,000 of that money, most of which would be in years 2 and 3. There's no match or cost from the city. The funding would it would be for 3 fire department positions, partially 3 fire department positions, partially 1 health department position, and a 10% indirect fee for the city.
And then what happens in year 4?
So you could have a no-cost extension into year 4. Otherwise, the aim with every grant, including the one that we're currently in, is that we understand how to deliver the resources in a sustainable fashion.
Okay.
So we either hand off that playbook to other people within the county, or we hopefully actually solve the problem. Right? So
Well, I shouldn't laugh.
No, it's
because it is a real problem.
It's a
but-
real problem. It will be here probably forever.
Yeah.
The aim, though, is that we put a huge dent in it. We learn a lot of lessons. We build a greater network that can better handle the problem in the future, and puts us way ahead of where we were before the funding came in.
And as you said, there's no match, so
Correct.
there's no, it's all federal money here, so. Any?
Mr. Chair?
Sure.
I know I could just as easily Google this, but you're sitting there, so I'm just gonna ask you because I'm a novice. What falls under stimulants?
Yeah, so a great question. Excellent
Caffeine.
question. So most people are familiar with the opiate epidemic and bang pharmaceuticals, and then it went into a lot of heroin that to substitute after the pharmaceuticals, and that transitioned into fentanyl. And now what we're seeing is that fentanyl is being mixed into cocaine and other drugs such as marijuana or
And those
counterfeit
fall under
pills.
stimulants?
Those would be more
Okay,
stimulants.
I didn't know.
Cocaine especially is where we're seeing close to 80% of the fatalities in Milwaukee County are actually occurring either from cocaine use or in combination cocaine and other drugs mixing it all together.
Thank you.
And those individuals don't really understand the risk associated with that drug use because it's not, it historically has not been, hasn't carried that risk.
Thank you.
Right.
Any further questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is adopted. Item number 40, resolution to update the city debt management policy.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And I see Jason's here to fill us in.
So before you is my recommendation to update a policy that hasn't been updated since 1996. Just because it's old, I guess, doesn't mean that things have necessarily changed, but Because of the debt issuance that we're doing this year, I went through line by line to see which provisions I thought were beneficial to the city. And for various different reasons, I think the majority of those should be struck from the policy. You know, there's some items in there, just a couple examples. Some things are already required by law, so why repeat them in a policy? There's some provisions that are simply too restrictive and limit certain debt scenarios. One of those being borrowing for a DPW facility. So, you know, other things, you know, repeats existing documentation. Some of the processes in there were highly technical, things that we would just work with Ellers to follow, and they don't need to be in our exact policy. So those are the kinds of things that I recommend striking from there.
Any further questions? Did we have a motion yet?
Yes.
We did. Motion and a second? Okay. No further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. That resolution, no, well, that wasn't even a resolution. Well, it was a resolution. That resolution is adopted. I'm sorry, I scrolled down too far. Thank you, Jason. Oh, and you're probably gonna be here on 41. Resolution providing for the sale of approximately $26.85 million general obligation promissory notes, Series 2024A.
And with us today is Harry Allen from Ellers, and he's just going to kind of give you the overview of this year's debt issuance. You know, we have a debt issuance annually for our capital budget, but this one's a little special because we're borrowing extra for the DPW facility.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I'll just give a really high-level overview of the financing. So this year you're going for $26.85 million of GO promissory notes. So there was a change in the law for GO-type debt in Wisconsin. You used to only be able to issue bonds if you wanted to go for a 20-year term. When you issue bonds, you can only fund certain types of projects. There was a change where GO notes used to be limited to a 10-year repayment term. That has now been extended to 20 years. So now, instead of issuing under the more restrictive bond statute, we're able to issue under the less restrictive note statute. So we can fund a variety of projects, and you can actually reallocate excess proceeds after the debt is issued. So if there are excess proceeds, let's say you get cost savings somewhere along the line, you can put those proceeds to really anything with them being GO notes. There's a lot more flexibility going out for notes versus bonds. With that said, I just want to give you an overview of what's being funded this year. So it is a larger amount. As I'm sure you're aware, this is really being driven by that DPW facility. So when we break this down into what all is being funded, there's $3.6 million for streets, $1.4 million for street lighting, $2.9 million for water, $1.6 million for sewer, and then the largest portion at $17 million is for that DPW facility. So we broke all these projects out into different amortization schedules, which is basically just your repayment schedule. So the streets and the street lighting, those are being repaid over a 10-year term. The DPW facility, given that that is a much larger borrowing, we're repaying that over a 20-year term. And then your utility projects are being repaid over a 15-year. So with that said, I just want to give you an overview of where the debt levy is going with this larger borrowing. So we did get a little bit creative as to the structure. Typically, we'll structure the debt just based on level principal throughout the term of the debt. But this year, we thought it would be worthwhile to do a little bit more work on the front end to limit the impact for the first couple of years and phase in this larger borrowing. So looking at 2024, there was a debt levy of around $4.2 million. We are projecting that to increase $1 million for 2025, so going up to $5.2 million. And then we wanted to be careful with the structure so that there is capacity in future years to not have as significant of a step up. And so how we're structuring the debt right now is biting off that $1 million increase in 2025, and then for the next 5 years, seeing a $200,000 decrease in each of those years, so that when you borrow next year, that increase is slightly abated by how we're structuring this debt. So we're trying to be a little more forward-thinking to really limit the long-term impact to the GO debt levy. And then it's important to keep in mind how much of your GO debt limit you're utilizing. The city has a large equalized value, which means you have a very high GO debt limit. Your limit is 5% of the total equalized value of the city. And so at the end of 2023, you're using 21% of that limit. With this larger borrowing this year, you will see a jump in that, but only to 25%. So you're far under that 5% limit. And then the last schedule in the presale report, it's always important to look at your debt service coverage of water and sewer type debt to make sure that there are revenues there to pay for any new debt that you're taking on, so you don't ultimately have to levy for that portion of your repayment. And so this last schedule just kind of shows where are you with water and sewer. Can you actually afford to pay for this new debt? And the answer is yes. You have over $1 of revenues for each $1 of debt service that you'll be paying. So you look healthy there. I know my colleague Brian introduced the water rate case that you guys are going for, and that's more for the cash position of the utility. That's everything I had. So if there are questions, I'm happy to take those.
Question about this change in the law. So the state of Wisconsin actually did municipalities a favor?
It happens sometimes.
Or at least it looks like a favor?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was driven by credit unions wanting to get more involved in the municipal space, and they weren't able to be competitive before because they were limited to that 10-year repayment term.
Oh, okay.
And so they were really pushing to make these GO notes a 20-year term because bonds were required to be competitively sold, so they could not be competitive in the bond market. But now that notes can go out to 20 years, you can be more flexible with your method of sale. So now credit unions can participate. So that was a big reason for the change.
So that's good news.
The timing was
Yeah,
perfect.
maybe
Yeah.
they didn't notice. Okay. Yeah. Any further questions?
Mr. Chair?
Jason?
Just to add to this a little bit, you might be wondering, also related to it, where we're gonna fund the rest of the DPW facility. Obviously, $17 million borrowing isn't gonna fund the entire amount, so just to quickly summarize, what those sources look like. We do have, a $1.5 million EPA loan for environmental work, about 14 million ARPA grant dollars. And then expecting to spend down about 25 million in reserves that the city has saved over many years. So a good mix of funding sources, right? We're not going straight to the taxpayers and saying, which was the original plan when I started here, $70 million borrowing, that was the original plan. We're nowhere near that.
Yeah.
So this funding scenario looks pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Did we have a motion and a second on this? We did not. Still,
Second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. It passes, is adopted. Item number 42 is a discussion regarding common council rules of procedure. Did everyone have a chance to take a look at this yet?
I was ready for you to come in hot.
Okay, so this is discussion.
I know it's just a discussion. I understand, Article 2, Sub A, appearance. You know, I get the professionalism. I understand that we're representing the city. We're also representing citizens. And very honestly, I don't think that any citizens would mind if I showed up in my Levi's. And I think jeans should be allowed. I think that we could add a clause of no rip or torn jeans. But I don't see a problem with wearing a nice pair of jeans and a top, nice top. Should we look like we're going to the gym? No. I never really look like that, but I think we're elected by the people. If we look like our constituents, I don't think it's the end of the world, being elected officials. And my question is, say this passes, we're saying, okay, this is our policy. If I show up in jeans, am I gonna be sent home? Am I gonna be fined
Right.
under the disorderly behavior, you know. So those were some of my feedback and my questions.
It seems as Attorney Cale Decker has something to say.
Sure, happy to answer it unless it was rhetorical. So anytime the council enacts rules for its own procedure, it is also then the judge of those rules. So it wouldn't be HR, it wouldn't be any outside source. It's the rules the council creates and enforces on itself. So if you violate any rules, it would be up to your colleagues to enforce them upon you. And if no one takes action to enforce a rule, then nothing happens.
I just feel like it's really bad precedent to set it if we're not gonna enforce it.
Alderperson Novak, or Alderperson Novak.
I'm gonna take flack for this. I'm the opposite. I don't love jeans, shorts, athletic wear, any of that. I guess, like you said, we are part of the people and we are just elected by the people, but I think there still needs to be some sort of precedent set. I mean, I don't know. I don't love, I would keep it as is, I guess.
Chair? I would appreciate, but I would counter in today's business world that a pair of jeans and a nice top is business casual.
Yeah. Yeah, I travel to a lot of financial institutions, credit unions. It's not so much anymore where you really see a lot of dress pants, jeans, as to your point, are a little bit more common. And at the end of the day, what I think we also have to keep in mind is, does it cause us, if I have on a pair of jeans, to not listen, to not be able to make informed decisions, and not be able to represent the folks who voted for me? And if all those are no, I don't see why there should be a policy, very honestly. Now, do I personally feel people should put some effort into their appearance? Yes. Have I been in a corporate America? Yes, I got lots and lots and lots and lots of suits and dress pants. But again, I just feel that that isn't this environment. Should we dress appropriately? Yeah, but kind of a gray area, right? What do you say is okay when someone has a nice top on with some jeans compared to someone who, I don't know, wearing a tank top, right? So I think as long as business casual is upheld, and very honestly, most people don't know what we're wearing under the table.
Right.
So I don't think my jeans really matter, as kind of like the news anchor theory.
Yep.
I was
Sorry,
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
I wouldn't know,
Alderperson
like,
Grobe.
most people don't know that, whether or not you're wearing shorts today.
I wear shorts a lot. I ride my bike here.
Right.
And it's 80 degrees outside. I'm going to say, I also trying to get a consensus here. So now, are we talking about just at council meetings? We are all at committee meetings. I'm on several other committees as an
I
alderperson.
think it should only be
I mean, I think we should.
agended council meetings. The CDA that I sit
Yes.
on, this should not move into the CDA and
Correct.
what happens with a group of citizens.
Just
I think it
trying to
should
get a
only be-
sense here.
Or I don't wanna have to go to the parade in a business suit or something.
Yeah.
No,
right.
yeah.
I just think that's where you said it falls under a gray area. Obviously, when we're out dealing with the public, we should look decent. And I guess when it all comes down to it, jeans, like you said, maybe there just needs to be some limitations on tattered and,
Right.
but I'll be honest, I don't love shorts, athletic wear, things like that. I think there has to be some sort of line.
I would agree with.
I'm looking at Cale if he's got any advice.
I would agree with no tank tops. I don't know. If it's for discussion purposes.
Yeah.
and-
Do we want to have this isn't a hot button issue, I don't think. Do we want to roll this into a committee of the whole sometime, or maybe we all just want to talk to our partner alders? And can we do that without, this isn't,
Continued discussion.
no.
Well, it's discussion only, so yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I'd recommend any discussion on this topic to occur during a public meeting. If you're going to do it with your colleagues, you can talk to members of the public as much as you'd like, but to avoid open meetings, I'd suggest doing it only in open session. And then secondarily, I know that, not as a legal matter, but more as an advisor role, this discussion happens in every business in the country frequently. The trend has been to have less specific dress policies because of this exact reason, is that in some contexts, something would be fine, in other contexts, it's not. I believe General Motors, their dress policy is 2 words long, dress appropriately.
Yep.
So it's up to the council how you'd like to word it, how specific you'd like to word it, but don't feel obligated to find a exhaustive list of things that are okay and things that are not okay.
Well, I just,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, no, and we just want to make sure that it isn't, gender leaning or anything like that, where it's affecting one half of the council more than the other either.
I could wear a skirt if it's
Yeah, you could.
comfortable riding my bicycle and
I'd be
versus long
curious.
pants.
There's options there. You hear of a skirt, it's great.
As long as they're, I mean, I don't notice when you have jeans on because they're appropriate.
Right.
So,
So do we ask to have staff bring it up on committee of the whole?
I think I think we could have another discussion, committee of the whole. I don't know if there's anything else churning in the ether that we're, have a committee of the
I
whole
don't think we
schedule.
need to go out of our way
There's-
to.
I don't think this deserves its
There's
own
a
meeting. But-
Committee of the whole on the last meeting of this month.
yeah, I think there is.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it would be an easy roll-in to one that's already scheduled.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
There we go.
Okay.
All right,
Mr. Chair,
think we've exhausted that one?
Attorney Decker.
there were many other things on the rules for the
Yeah.
council, so
Everything else.
You could tell which one we
I think
cared about.
everything
I just
else,
want to make sure if there's any other changes you'd like to consider, that those are also
everything else
expressed.
makes sense.
It's fine.
Very good.
okay, so we're gonna roll the rules of procedure off to a, do we need a motion on that or no?
No.
Okay. Item number 43 is a communication regarding the It's Your City print newsletter.
Mr. Chair? I like the approach that it's going. I like, don't get me wrong, the newsletter is great. I read it and I throw it away. So by the time something happens again in a month, I don't remember what I read. So I understand it from a cost-saving aspect. I like the idea of smaller printed mailings. I have brought up to you, I think in the past, and other department heads about utilizing potentially garbage tags for certain items, such as when garbage and recycling might change, because you're going to probably see it. I just had the one question. I know it was mentioned, potentially utilizing utility mailing. But not all renters get a utility bill, so then where would that communication be for them?
Yeah, so we have used utility bills in the past to share information with residents, so that's really something we would continue doing. What we would also like to do is a sort of reallocation of funds from the print newsletter to do an annual mailing of the recycling booklet to all addresses in the city, as well as the events guide and the residence guide, which we can do in a bundled mailing all in one swoop. So to get that out to every address in the city, including rental properties, we would like to do that in the first quarter. So that's the information that we know from surveys about the newsletter folks really want, is event information, trash recycling information. So we can do that in one bundled mailing all at once to hit all of those addresses.
Thank you. That's all the questions I had. And
Okay.
I know, do we need a motion to place on file?
Technically, yes.
Motion to place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
On file it is. Item number 44 is a claim by Amir Al-Majid for personal injury and vehicle damage on April 7th, 2023 at the intersection of North 35th and Highland Avenue in Milwaukee. And the recommendation is to refer it to the city attorney.
Mr. Chair? So there's a change in the recommendation on this one as well. There is the option to go into closed session on this matter, so if anyone wants to talk about this in any detail, we can go into that, but I don't think it's necessary right now. We were able to, just a few days ago, reach a settlement in theory with this other individual. And so they have offered to settle the case for $12,500. The complaint in the case alleged that one of our police officers rear-ended
Thank you.
his vehicle while on 35th and Highland in that area. And so there's not really a liability question. It's just a matter of damages. And so $12,500 is something that our office believes to be a reasonable settlement amount. If you want more details about it, then I'm happy to hear the questions now, and I can tell you if we would need to talk about it in closed session.
Anybody have any questions?
I would make a motion, do we still refer it to you? Or
No,
make
s-
a motion based on?
Settle it.
City attorney recommendation.
Yes, to approve the recommendation of the attorney for settling for $12,500 would be what I'd ask for.
That is my motion.
I second that.
Any further discussion? Does this need a roll call?
No, not at
No,
this level.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's settled. Nothing further to come before the administration committee. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Yeah. Yes, second.
She seconded.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Oh,
seconded
second.
it,
Okay,
that's
I'm
why
sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
I wasn't saying anything.
Favor
Sorry,
to
I thought I
adjourn.
was loud enough this time.
Because we rolled 45 into 40.
Correct. I believe she just took it as you made the motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Rather than asking.
Okay.
for
We
a
all
saw
in
what
fa-
happened.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Kale.
We are adjourned.
Somebody's got to watch us.
Gonna call the Economic Development Committee to order. Please note that all committee members are present. Item number 50, ordinance to incorporate full-service retail outlets into alcohol licensing laws. Sarah,
Move approval.
Second.
any further discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just for the council benefit, this goes back to that change in law. We would be applying all Class B beer laws to all breweries, all Class B liquor to all distilleries and rectifiers, and all Class C winery rules to all wineries. So that's just making sure that the new places that we're approving, all the typical alcohol laws apply to them, because the state did not do that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Number 51, resolution to create fee schedule for services related to full-service retail outlets. Kind of moves into item 51.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. Number 52, resolution to approve a purchase and sale and development agreement between JJH3 Group LLC and the City of West Dallas and Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas for multifamily mixed-use development for the property located along West Greenfield Avenue between South 64th and South 65th Street.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Patrick, did you wanna?
No, I'm there.
Let us
You wanted me to outline
Let's
anything
go.
on here? and
I think we got it. I think
Patrick's
we
here
got
for
it.
us?
We've covered this one multiple
Yes,
times.
Yes. Item 53, resolution to approve a development agreement between Land by Label LLC, Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas and the City of West Dallas for the multifamily development for the property located on the 4.54 acre parcel on the southeast corner of South 70th Street and West Washington Street, 11 South 70th Street.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Patrick, you guys sorted out that ready-to-reuse thing
Correct,
this morning, or today, or whatever?
yes.
It was part of the EPA loan, $2 million in the capital stack.
The developer put together an amortization
It's a
schedule
schedule.
of payments to the state, and we believe that should be agreeable to the state, but we have another item on the agenda here for the ready for reuse application, but we have worked everything out in the framework. The pro forma, it stayed the same, in fact, it got a little bit better.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Thank you.
All right, item 50, did I finish that? Yeah, okay.
I don't think we voted.
We didn't vote.
Okay. Do we have,
There was a
Yeah.
Okay,
Have a
all in
first and a
favor?
second.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. 54, resolution permitting certain expenditures up to $3,750,000 to be made with a 1/2 mile radius of tax incremental district number 7, Whitnall Summit of City of West Dallas.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 55, resolution to approve Fifth Amendment to the Development Agreement between the City of West Dallas and Cobalt Partners LLC, TID District 16 within the South 70th Corridor, West Quarter.
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion or questions?
I just want to outline what that really pertains to is we have an existing development agreement with West Quarter LLC, and this allows for what we have structured in the land by label development agreement to get the tax benefits of the development, and it doesn't go to the West Quarter LLC. It's still part of the whole TIF and the framework, but it just allows us to make that modification.
Thank you, Patrick. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 56, resolution approving up to a $2 million brownfield revolving loan fund grant to L by L, is it Land by Label? Alice Yards LLC for the property located on the 4.54 acre parcel.
Move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, ayes have it. 57, resolution authorizing the submittal of the Wisconsin Ready for Reuse loan application to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources for the Alice Yards residential redevelopment of the property located on the 4.54 acre parcel on the southeast corner, South 70th Street and West Washington Street.
Move approval.
Second.
We'll make you read everything.
Any further discussion?
I would just say, I think we get credit for the biggest title here tonight, but
Star truly.
the Ready for Reuse loan program, it just, our goal when it comes to development projects is to explore other funding sources besides the PAYGO TIF or the tax increment district, or using EPA funds, like we have a US EPA revolving loan fund. In this case, we recommend applying for the Wisconsin Ready for Reuse program, because we can bring state EPA money to the project, and it reduces our costs within the TIF, and it is actually 0% interest money from the state. So we're leveraging what we're doing to bring in additional money, but the only thing is that we have to process it through the city. And that's really maybe one of the challenging things with that, but I just wanted to outline that a little bit for you.
Thank you, Patrick. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Number 58, resolution approving the terms and conditions for an economic development loan to K&K Barista LLC under the National Avenue Commercial Corridor In-Store Forgivable Loan Program, up to $15,000.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Patrick, is it, Madam Chair? Patrick, is this the old pizza place?
This is the old pizza place. It's been vacant it's 1417 South 70th Street. It's, give a personal reference here, there's a Verizon store on the corner, or I think it's Verizon.
Yeah.
T-Mobile,
T-Mobile.
excuse me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
5 blocks down
I'm
on the
back.
right.
I'm back on.
On the corner on the right.
Telephone
70.
company, but right corner. And then there's an alley, and then
Oh,
it's right on the
Cardero.
corner, it was
Cardero.
Cardero
Yeah.
Club
Between Philo's.
Pizza place.
Yep.
It's a small little place in our downtown. Our downtown district is shaped like a T. So this is picking up that space, and, you know, it's a small loan using CDBG funds to help two people who are actually gone through WIBIC to get some business training and help their small business. And
For them.
we've been working with them for over a year, and to see that they're to this level, we're excited to see a new coffee shop here in our downtown.
All right, there was a motion
And a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. 59, resolution approving a stormwater indemnification agreement by and between the City of West Dallas and the Community Development Authority of West Dallas and Mark Higgins for the property located at 6620 West Mitchell Street and Sona, Parcel 1 within 6 Points Farmers Market redevelopment.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor? Or, I'm sorry, discussion?
I just want to outline what this is.
This
It's
little
such
sliver
a
of land, yeah.
Big name. It's an agreement between the city, the CDA, and the property owner next door to a little sliver of land that we're looking to transfer. With that, when we relayed the land out for Sona and Makers Row, there's a reciprocal easement agreement that spelled out costs and access, and it goes on to that land. This takes that off, and there's a catch basin within this, or stormwater catch basin within this little 16-foot piece of land, that the stormwater pond that was built because of stormwater requirements, it drains into, it actually goes into that catch basin, then into the city system. And because the land's transferring over, the property owner doesn't want any responsibilities related to that catch basin. If it collapses, or maintenance of it, et cetera. So this is providing all the indemnification. It does cause a risk, maybe for the city or the CDA, that if something happens, we have to take on that cost, or the developer will have to address it. But we are taking on that risk, but this is the easiest way to get all the requirements off the title in order to transfer the land to the abutting owner. I've been working with our city attorney for some time on this, and we finally have gotten this, and hopefully now we can get into the next stage of actually transferring Makers Road to that developer.
Yeah, the real risk here is not that substantial because the CDA or city would have to step in and basically complete something that other easement holders should have done, which would create what's called a subrogated interest. So we would then just be the people who go after the easement holders for reimbursement, but in the meantime, the property owner is not waiting around or having to enforce it themselves. So that's the real risk. I don't expect this to be a problem. The easement holders that are responsible are large, responsible corporate citizens that would not screw around with this. So I don't expect this to be a problem.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, number 60, new Class B tavern license for Shanna Ewan LLC DBA The Chai Lounge and Grill, 8307 West Beecher Street, agent Shanna Ewan. And you can come on up here.
address?
All right. So, you're applying for, you have in here lounge and grill.
Yes,
But you didn't have all the boxes checked, so what do you mean by lounge?
and grill.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna serve like certain food like hot dogs and Chicago style Polish sausage. I'm gonna have like a soul food Sunday where I sell like soul food and like stuff to that nature, like pizza, wings. Nothing is gonna be fried. I'm sorry. Everything is gonna be air fried because I don't want to mess with grease too much, you know, because it's fatty. So that's what that part means.
Okay. And you're looking to have your hours 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. I know on Thursday you do have till 2:30 a.m., which is actually outside of state ordinance, but
Okay.
you're basically looking to maintain tavern hours, being open till 2 a.m.
Yes. And I wanted to, only reason I put like the 9 a.m. because I wanted to have options just in case I decide we wanted to sell like breakfast within the morning time. But in the beginning, we're gonna be open only from like 6 p.m. to like 2. And Monday and Tuesday will be closed except for if it's like some type of holidays or something that's coming up.
And then you didn't have the capacity listed.
Well, I haven't seen the occupancy, I haven't had the occupancy done yet, so usually they tell me, you know,
Okay.
the amount of people that can be there or whatever, what I can, you know, have in the establishment, but it's a small establishment, so, you know, I don't want to have no more than maybe about 25, 30 people, because it's not like extremely large.
And are you purchasing or leasing this space?
I'm leasing it.
It's the old Bob Coins, you're taking the, if you're on beach, you're taking the right side of the building.
Yes.
And Peak Fitness or whatever is keeping on the left side?
No,
They
he's gone.
moved.
Okay,
Is it the old Peak Physique?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he
So
had
it's-
both sides, but, yeah,
The west half of that building.
yes.
So it's only, that's what I was gonna ask.
Just the
Sorry,
one
Madam
half
Chair.
closest to Sitco, or whatever the gas station is right
Can
there.
I see that, Marissa? Marissa, can you flip that?
Yeah, well, I'm
I
trying
am-
to figure
Yeah.
out which side it is.
Right side is the west
It's the right side.
Let me see, because I've been inside of there, so.
It's a
this side.
tiny space for 25 people.
It is.
Yeah, so I basically don't even know what they would even allow,
And have you
so.
owned a bar or a restaurant before?
Yes, on 13th and Rogers, I had that for a year, but the owner decided that he wanted to sell the property, so we decided to part ways, so that's the only reason why I'm looking for a new location at this time.
Are there other, I have like I have other recommendations and
I-
stuff, but
I-
are there
I-
further questions?
Yeah.
Madam Chair? So 13th and Rogers, was that just a restaurant or was it alcohol too?
It was alcohol too. It was 2,100 square feet though, that location was. So
Sorry, what
it
was-
was 2,100 square feet. So yes, it was a
And
restaurant.
what was it called?
It was called the same, the Shell Lounge and Grill.
Okay,
That's
okay.
a good sized building.
And so you were there for a year?
Yes.
Okay, Did you
and
have any problems while you were there, or?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I thought I would due to the area, but unfortunately I did not, so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because there's already a bunch of bars, I think, in the neighborhood over here. This place was never licensed before. I'm just curious, you would do the build-out for the landlord, or you gonna cost share on that, or? Because it's really not a bar in there now.
Right. Well, I previously had a bar built in there, so now I'm waiting to see if I get approved, and then I'm gonna put like the plumbing for the sink within the kitchen area, and then the sink behind the bar area, and then we're gonna also try to add a second bathroom, and then of course get the proper commercial appliances for the kitchen area.
Have you talked to our staff? You may need to do like an HVAC upgrade.
No, I haven't talked to anybody here. That's why.
Are you waiting to see if you get your license first and then what you will put
Yeah.
into it?
Yes,
It-
because
it-
I don't want to overspend.
Yeah,
and I
it
don't.
may be it may be more money than you're anticipating.
Okay.
Madam Chair. So I've been in that building, so if you're on the right side, there's like a small main area, and then there's that little back room where they used to do their weigh-ins and stuff.
Yes,
Is
in the
that where you'd wanna
bathroom.
put your kitchen?
Yes.
And I guess I kinda quote what Marty said, I would be a little bit concerned just because of the limited space. I don't think, I mean, the max they allowed to even work out in that space was like 8.
Yeah.
And that was just on open floor. And then that back area, I would wonder what you would have to do to get that ready to be accessible to cook. Because like he said, it may require updated HVAC, plumbing, and I guess I would wanna know before approving a license, if you'd be willing, once you find out, to put that kind of effort, money, and work into it.
Yeah,
And then I think seating wise, I don't think with any type of furniture, you'd have more than seating for maybe 12. I mean, those are my concerns.
Tight 12.
Yep, my concerns with it is, kind of the same thing. I don't think it's really a suitable location for a bar till 2 AM. One, besides the numerous bars, it's never been a bar. There's residential rentals upstairs. There's a residence across the street, and there's a residence directly behind. My personal view is, it's one thing when someone moves in next to a bar, and they deal with the people outside talking and smoking and all that comes with the bar scene. I think it's different to have residents, homeowners, and then we throw a bar into it. So I personally would make a motion to deny based on not suitable location and the number of other establishments in the area, and part of that also is because the parking would more than likely, I believe on one side there was no parking, would result in everyone having to park on 83rd Street in the residential, because you can only park on the one side of Beecher.
No, you can.
You can park on both sides.
Feature.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I'm-
I would second it for I don't think it's a suitable space for a proposed business.
I think
Madam
it would
Chair, I
be
think
different
I
if it was
would,
a restaurant only, maybe till like a 10
Yeah.
PM hours.
I think just
not a
because of the
tavern.
floor plan, the very limited space. And isn't the one restroom in there through the doorway to the other side?
Yes, you walk.
So you
Yeah.
have to actually go into the other side of the building to get to a restroom. So
No,
there is a
it's-
current
No,
one.
there is
No,
there
it's-
is a tiny little one back there.
Yeah. It's a.
But I mean,
That would
it's
be
not a.
concern Too, yeah,
Patrick?
cause, I mean,
Madam Chair, it seems like there's a lot of open-ended things here that often with a prospect like this, we meet with in economic development and sometimes bring our colleagues in from other departments where we can tour and work through some of these things. And I welcome that opportunity, and I have not met the applicant till tonight. as of high right now. So we'd love, and if this location becomes too costly, which we've seen before with prospects that are exploring opportunities in our city, is maybe we can find another opportunity. And hearing about the food and things that Shauna wants to do, I think that'd be a great addition here to our city. And we always want to help business owners find a location here in our city, so.
Is this something that we can table until after she's had an opportunity to work with your team and?
I think that might be a good path forward.
Well, I would look to deny
Deny
this
this one.
particular
Correct.
location.
The
and then
alcohol.
recommend for the
Correct.
alcohol license, not to, you could still potentially be a restaurant, but then to work with the economic development,
Okay,
and they can help find potentially other properties that might be more suitable for it.
okay,
Not so much residential, maybe stuff you don't have to do so much work on.
Okay.
Putting in exhaust fans
Okay.
and bathrooms and, so Patrick, I really appreciate that offer.
Yeah.
Again, I think it would be a benefit to the city in the right location.
Correct.
So there was
You moved to
Motion to deny
deny,
and a
I seconded.
any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
so do I call you? I call you? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I lost my
Jimmy
spot.
B is 61.
61, I got too many notes. All right, 61, new Class B Tavern and Public Entertainment License for West Dallas DDF LLC, DBA Jimmy B, 7216 West Lincoln, Agent Sally Seaburn. Is Sally here?
I'm gonna
Sally
move-
was noticed to come,
Yeah.
right?
I check.
upstairs, there wasn't anyone upstairs.
Yeah, there was a hearing notice.
Then may we make a motion to,
I moved to
Hold.
deny based on, I think last time we denied when they didn't show.
One no-show?
yeah, I wouldn't deny.
Did they
well,
reach out to
thing
the
is,
clerk's
she
office?
didn't- We thought she didn't show the last time, but it was denied not based on a no-show.
Okay,
It
I'm
was
with you,
denied
I'm with you.
based on the-
I can support a hold.
So we will hold until the next common council meeting?
You can do so internally or by motion, whatever you'd like to do.
Motion to hold until the next council meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. 62, application for full-service retail sales for Great Lakes Distillery LLC, DBA Great Lakes Distillery at 5835 West National Avenue, Agent Guy Rehorse.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a second.
Madam Chair,
yes.
the only thing that I wanted to bring up is the premises description appears to include the public sidewalk.
Yes.
I wanted to verify if that was in fact the case, or if it was the sidewalk to the west.
West.
Yeah, so on the, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say brought the drawing here. Yeah, it kind of included the sidewalk to the north and the west.
So the
Old
north
public
is
table
city.
spot.
Is National Avenue, the National Avenue side of it?
National Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we do that. Well, we can, but that's a different thing. That's a premises extension.
So, Madam Chair, generally, it's not good practice to include right-of-way as a permanent part of the
Yeah.
extension of premises. However, if I'm kind of peeking over there, it looks like this is the door that's at an angle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'd recommend then is approving any sidewalk outside of right-of-way, because that was a former sidewalk that was discontinued years ago. And so if you wish to include that description, that'd be sufficient. So people can still walk out and walk to the vacated street, but just wouldn't be able to go out into National Avenue's sidewalk.
Is this the old,
It's the old public
It was
table
public
building.
table.
Okay,
Valentine
that's what I thought,
Coffee
right
for
across
a
from.
short time.
So would someone like to make that?
Well, just wanted to clarify with the applicant what
Yes.
the description means. What's on the record now is sufficient, so
Okay.
the motion to approve is still what's on the table, with that understanding.
So you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Move to approve?
Second.
And this is your second location?
Yeah, we're located on Sixth and Virginia.
Big distillery,
In Milwaukee. It's
yeah.
our facility, our
Yeah.
manufacturing and tasting
A
room.
roundabout, yeah.
Yeah. Good, good.
So the,
This would be a nice addition for D1.
Madam Chair,
That will be.
and
So
just,
you're familiar with all the laws and da-da-da. and You're renting from Julian, I assume?
Yes, yes.
And is he Airbnb-ing the upstairs yet?
Yes.
Yeah. So your hours aren't real late?
We're not going to, we, like our current tasting room, we close Friday and Saturday is the latest evenings we're open, and that's midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not looking at being a late night place.
Is Julian sharing the outside space with you?
It sounds like he's willing to do so.
Yeah. And do you have a timeline?
Yeah, the current tenants, Valentine Coffee, they are working on another facility and going to remove like the kitchen equipment and move over there as soon as they can. So in my head, I'm thinking September, potentially.
Nice time for fall.
Madam Chair, just since the first distillery to come through the city, want to let the committee know this does not impact the quota. And so it'll be operated as a full-service bar, but will have no impact on quota.
But there's no distilling going on here. This is just his retail location.
Strictly,
So
yeah,
there's no
tasting room. So it's
manufacturing or.
cocktails and bottle sales. Yeah.
Correct.
It's a new state law. It's a new world.
Yeah.
It's the first one for West
Coming over
Allis
to the
Distilleries,
house.
so put that in the record books.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Great.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll see you in September.
Yes, we're excited to see you.
Everyone's coming to party in
anything else?
D1.
People usually bring samples.
Anything else come before economic development? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.